I want you to imagine this. I want you to imagine a teacher. And I like this analogy because in one of my former lives, my first out of college, I was a teacher. Isn't it amazing that I'm right back teaching again? It's just I'm not teaching junior high science and math anymore. But I digress. So I want you to imagine there's a teacher and she's standing at a chalkboard. Can you all envision that? There's a teacher, she's standing at a chalkboard. I don't know what grade it is, maybe fourth grade. And she's writing the nines tables. 9 times 0 is 0. 9 times 1 is 9. And the kids are bored. They're yawning, right? They're not paying any attention to her. They're scribbling, doodling, and she's diligently putting those 9 tables on the board. She gets down to 9 times 10, the last one. And you know what she writes? 9 times 10 is 91. Well, what happens? The whole class busts out laughing. Teacher turns around. What are you guys laughing at? Oh, teacher, you got that one wrong. And she looks back at them and she says, but I got 9 right. You ignored me. You only paid attention to the one I got wrong. If you are an unfaithful partner listening to this, that's how the brain works. The brain only remembers the things that cause pain. We don't worry about butterflies and unicorns because they're not dangerous. Our brain focuses on the things that are dangerous. So if you do 100 things great, perfect, wonderful, and I'm talking to the unfaithful partners, if you do 100 things perfectly, but you do one that really is bad, like defensiveness, anger, yelling, screaming, name calling, blaming, any of those things, guess what? Those 100 things that you did great, the brain's going to forget every one because none of those are safe. I'm sorry, none of those are dangerous. It's only going to remember the one that's not safe. All of those 100 things are not dangerous. Why would the brain focus on it? Tell me again, what's the brain's job? To keep us alive. Butterflies are not dangerous. The brain is not going to care about butterflies and rainbows and unicorns. So if you are with a partner who is not safe, even if they do 100 things great, if they do one thing wrong, the brain is going to remember it and throw everything else out of the container. Now, I don't want people to hear that and give up hope, especially the unfaithful partners. Because the unfaithful partners hear that and they're like, oh my God, Beth, I'm not perfect. I'm going to make mistakes. How am I ever going to get through this? Well, because there's this thing called grace. There's this thing. The betrayed partners, if they are still with you, they're still with you. Now, I don't know how long they're going to stay with you. I always say, you never know. To the unfaithful partners, I always say, you never know when your last chance is. So don't bank on having a tomorrow. But what the unfaithful partners want to do is stop doing the one thing. Do more of the 100 and stop doing the one thing. The question is, what is the one thing? Now, I'm going to tie this all back to how I started this part of the webinar, which is the neuroscience, the patterns. Most of the time, the unfaithful partner is running a pattern. And it's the pattern, that's the one thing that they keep screwing up. The minute we can detach from the pattern, then they stop screwing up. And again, it's not 100%. There's some, I don't want to give anybody the wrong impression. This is a one and done and everything's perfect. This is time. This takes time. So this patterning that we all have, every single one of us, okay? This pattern that we have is basically a conversation. Remember when I said give your brain and your nervous system 2 different names? I want you to start thinking about that. If your brain's job is to keep you alive, to keep you safe, and it senses any danger out there, it's going to send a message to the nervous system. The nervous system is going to send you signals, right? You're going to start getting that weird feeling. The stomach drops, the heart races. Maybe you start sweating. I don't know what. Everybody has their own. but you're going to have some messages